Fear is not real, yet it has controlled lives, stolen dreams, and paralyzed countless people into silence and inaction. Fear is nothing more than a story created by the mind, but the story feels so convincing that most people spend their whole lives obeying it as if it were a law of nature. Think about it for a moment. Have you ever seen fear? Can you touch it? Can you hold it in your hands? Can you point at it in the room? No, because fear is not something outside of you. It exists only inside the imagination. And yet this invisible force becomes the prison that locks away so much human potential. When you were a child, fear wasn't as strong. You tried to walk even when you fell. You touched new things, asked endless questions, and explored without hesitation. But slowly, society, experiences, and disappointments started to build walls in your mind. You learned that failing was embarrassing, that rejection hurt, that being different was risky. So little by little, you began to shrink. You created ghosts in your head and called them reality. Fear isn't taught in schools, yet it is mastered by almost everyone because we practice it daily through our doubts, our what-ifs, and our hesitation to take chances. But let me tell you something powerful today. Fear is not real. Danger is real. Yes, the possibility of pain, loss, or failure is real. But fear is not. Fear is only your mind projecting a possible future, a scenario that has not happened, a movie script playing in your head. It's the imagination misused. And the sad truth is, most people suffer more in their imagination than they ever will in reality. Think about all the times you were afraid to speak in public. Your heart raced, your palms sweated, your mind screamed at you to back down. But then you finally spoke, and nothing catastrophic happened. You didn't die. The world didn't collapse. People listened. And in the end, you wondered, why was I so afraid? Or think about the job you didn't apply for because fear told you you weren't qualified. Think about the dream you delayed because fear whispered that you might fail. Think about the person you didn't talk to because fear said you might be rejected. How many of those fears turned out to be real? Almost none. Yet you paid the price for them anyway, because fear charges you in advance for a debt that may never exist. Fear is like a shadow in the dark. It looks larger than life. It looks terrifying. But the moment you shine a light on it, it disappears. Shadows cannot hurt you, and neither can fear. It only grows in silence, in hesitation, in the dark corners of your thoughts. The only way fear survives is if you keep feeding it with your attention. Every time you hesitate, every time you say, what if I fail, instead of what if I succeed, every time you choose comfort over growth, you feed the beast. But the truth is, fear has no teeth. It can only bark, never bite, unless you let it. The people who achieve greatness in life are not those who never feel fear. They feel it just like you do. The difference is they don't bow to it. They don't let the bark stop them from walking forward. Fear is nothing but a liar, and courage is the truth that exposes it. When you act despite fear, you see that the walls you thought were unbreakable were only made of paper. You realize fear was never a monster, it was just your shadow. History is full of men and women who refused to bow to fear. Imagine if Martin Luther King Jr. let fear of death silence his voice. Imagine if Thomas Edison let fear of failure stop him after thousands of unsuccessful attempts. Imagine if Nelson Mandela let fear of prison prevent him from fighting for freedom. Every breakthrough in human history required someone to look fear in the eye and walk through it. If they had waited for fear to disappear, they would still be waiting. Because here is another truth. Fear never disappears before you act. Fear shrinks only after you move. You cannot think your way out of fear. You can only act your way out. Every time you take action, every time you move forward, every time you face what you thought you couldn't handle, the illusion dissolves. You become stronger, braver, and freer. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision that something else matters more. And when you live from that truth, fear loses its grip. Let's get real. How much has fear already cost you? How many opportunities have you missed? How many dreams have you delayed? How many relationships have you sabotaged? How many times have you settled for less just because fear said stay where it's safe? Safety is an illusion too. Life is not meant to be lived in a cage. The graveyard is full of people who played it safe, who let fear hold the pen that wrote their story. Don't let your name be added to that list. Every day you wake up, you're faced with two choices. Let fear write your story, or write it yourself. Fear will always tell you to stay small, to avoid the unknown, to settle for comfort. But comfort is a slow death. Comfort eats your dreams quietly until there's nothing left but regret. And regret is far more painful than failure will ever be, because failure teaches you, failure shapes you, failure grows you. Regret only haunts you. Fear wants to keep you safe from failure, but in truth, it only guides you straight into regret. Let me tell you the secret. Fear is simply energy. It's your body's way of preparing you for action. The pounding heart, the shaking hands, the rush of adrenaline, it's not there to paralyze you, it's there to fuel you. But when you interpret that energy as danger, you freeze. Instead, use it as power. Reframe it. The same energy that makes you afraid can make you powerful if you direct it toward action. That nervousness before speaking, that's energy. That trembling before taking a risk, that's energy. That feeling when you're about to step into the unknown, that's life inviting you to grow. The biggest lie fear tells you is that you should wait until you're not afraid to move forward. But you will never stop being afraid until you move forward. Fear is not a stop sign, it's proof that you're on the edge of growth. Every time you feel it, it's a signal you're about to step into a bigger version of yourself. That's why successful people don't run from fear, they run toward it. They know on the other side of fear lies freedom. So what can you do? Start by recognizing fear when it speaks. That little voice saying, "What if you fail?" is not your truth, it's fear. Thank it for showing up, but don't obey it, then act anyway. Action is the cure. Small steps, big steps, it doesn't matter. Just move, because fear can't follow momentum. The moment you move, fear starts to die. Ask yourself, what would you do if you were not afraid? What kind of life would you build? Who would you become? Fear is the only thing standing between the life you have and the life you want. But since fear is not real, the only thing standing between you and your dreams is you. Life is too short to live in a prison built by your imagination. Break free. Speak even if your voice shakes. Try even if you might fail. Love even if you might lose. Start even if you're not ready. Because the truth is, nobody is ever ready. Everybody is afraid. But the ones who change the world are those who walk anyway. Fear is not real. Courage is. Potential is. Dreams are. The question is, will you spend your life bowing to an illusion, or will you rise to the truth of your strength? The choice is yours. Every single day, the choice is yours. Don't let fear rob you of the time you will never get back. Act now, live fully, and make fear watch you do everything it said you couldn't. So let today be the day you draw the line. No more letting fear dictate your story. No more shrinking. No more waiting. No more playing small. You are more powerful than fear. Because fear is not real, but you are.